Hey, everybody! It's like almost 3 o'clock here on the lovely day of Valentine. I hope you all have someone that you're Valentining with if you're into that. I mean, some people might not be. The few asexual human beings that are out there. But like, if you are into it, I hope you got someone to spend your day with and have a good one. Enjoy yourselves. Yeah. It's a good day. It's raining here. It's in the desert. Oh no, it's the monsoon season. It's gonna be fine. Hopefully that means there'll be some. It should be some spectacular foliage. I don't think it's technically foliage. Whatever. The cacti, the saguaros, are supposed to look fantastic this year, as it's been very wet, according to those who live here longer than the last 6 months. So yeah. Had thought process earlier today whilst I was doing some yoga before I had to go to the car dealership. Honda, they're really good with the recalls and getting your stuff fixed out for you. But man, like, dude, why didn't you figure it out the first time with the first airbags? It's the other side. Whatever. That's on them. But hey, I was sitting there thinking, and like I had done some yoga and I had briefly thought about it during yoga, and then also. While I was sitting in the waiting room for them to put these new airbags in, I was thinking about it and like critical thinking and the ability. Well, I mean, it kind of extends to the ability of being able to say you were wrong and someone else was right, but like not just that. But I hope that grabbed your attention and everything. So yeah. I don't really. I mean, you should know this by now. I don't really care what you believe. Doesn't matter to me. Like as long as as long as you believe something about something, whatever. Nihilism is it can be dangerous. Whatever. But like, I hope you're being critical of what like youth believe. And I know in the past, I was not always critical of what I believed. I grew up, some of you know, again, I've briefly gone over some stories and stuff. But like, I grew up heavy religious, and I would definitely not call it in a bad, obviously now, we're not saying a bad way, but like, I was very involved in the Methodist Church, which is a fantastic church, no qualms against them. Got some lovely friends that are pastors in Methodist churches or started as pastors in Methodist churches and stuff like that. But, I didn't necessarily think super critically about what I believed. And to the extent wouldn't be the fact because I like also, and everyone growing up would know, like I would argue with anybody about anything. As like, well, some things more than others, some people more than others. If my brother says the sky is blue, I'm gonna definitely say no, it is a azure or whatever. But hey, whatever. But like, I waited. So I had my debate points. Like I was the guy who like I have like, well, you can't prove this and you can't do that, and I know the limits of science and blah 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 blah. I had my talking points and I had them nailed down. Like I had them down pat and grown in like from high school, or middle school up in high school and in like right at the start of college, early college. Like I knew what I knew, and like I didn't like. Yeah, I knew there was like and I still love science. Don't get me wrong. Back to Miss Robinette, ninth grade Earth space teacher. Love that woman, and that like I love that class, and still love Earth space. Always have, but like that level of sciences. But like I was like, well, you could fit. I was like a young Earth creationist, and I was like, you could fit it if you take out the if you use philosophical. I was using philosophical arguments to combat science, which is like real dumb, in my opinion now. But hey, to each their own. I look back now and I go, man, I was part of it. It was total team mentality. If sports would have been my thing, I would have been whatever else my sports team would have been. And if it would have been I did do political stuff even as a teenager. It was very important to me, and I was like, I took a very hard, and it was a much harder right stance than you would have thought someone of my age would have taken, and slash, it was part of the, I was full tilt. And I thought I was being critical, but the critical thinking aspect needs to apply to what you believe, like, first. And I wasn't applying it to what I believed first. I was applying it to what everyone else believed first. Like, I was like, no, your system is wrong, or your system is faulty, or you have a problem in here. And like, I was paying attention to the man behind the curtain. And then, like I said, college, I was like, crisis of faith, all that fun stuff. But like, that's when I started like, wait a minute, do you believe in, like, you would hear what a pastor would say, or this would say, or some of my professors. And I'd be like, man, that just does not sound right. That doesn't sound like their arguments didn't make sense. And I'm like, oh, dude, like, you're arguing based on this set of knowledge and principles, but like, man, you can't argue outside that. And like, there's a whole world outside of that. Like, I know exists. Like, I was in it. I was around it. I was like, there's this other world. Like, you guys, I don't know. So I started critically thinking about my own beliefs and my own thought structures, and came to some realizations. Here we are today. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about anytime. Anyone want to ask me a question about anything. But like, as I'm saying, you need to be first critical of your own ideas and thoughts and patterns and things of that nature, because like, you're never going to change someone else that doesn't want to change. So like, pointing out someone else's flaws and thought patterns in their ideology, in their whatever, their religion, in their like whatever you think you got on them, their political structure, I don't care. Like, you pointing out someone else's problem is not going to want to make them fix that problem. All you're going to do is like make them I'm not listening to that fool, and keep on going. So critically analyze your own systems. I'm not going to call anybody out by name about anything, and I'm going to be really like open. Hey, if you want to discuss something, if you think I'm being crazy, or you think I'm wrong, prove me wrong. I'm always down to be proved wrong. But apply it to your life. Some of you, I have friends. I would consider you friends, loved ones. That let's talk about anti-vaxxing. You're not vaccinating your kids. Think about your thought process. Really think about it. I have some friends that are, I wouldn't call them rabid. They're anti-GMO, and I would say, think about your thought process, follow it through, think through all the evidence that you think you have, and like research. Go back and listen to everything. Same thing with the anti-vaxxers. Same thing with I'm sure I got one somewhere, maybe, who knows? Hopefully not. Flat earthers, think about your thought process. Christians, think about your thought process. I think about my thought process for my thing. Atheists, think about your thought process. Muslims, Jews, think about your thought process. Hindus, think about your thought. Everyone should be thinking about Republicans, think about your avid gun rights activists. Think about what you're talking. Anti-gun activists, think about what you're saying to. Everyone needs to think about what they're saying. If you stop and think about what you're actually telling, so like when you're making certain points in certain, again, I'm talking about arguments. Okay, so like, think about it. Like, I'm sure that there is some part of your stance that could be more nuanced, that could be more well thought out, could be better balanced. I got some, I don't know, I'm like, anyway. So again, I've said it a couple times, and there's more crazy crap coming out down every day. But critically analyze and think about what is going on in your mind, in your world, in your sphere. And I think if we critically think about those, like everything, especially our ideals and tenets and like things we hold dear, we'll find that like we can come to a better agreement on a lot of things. Like the pro-gun, anti-gun. Like I have guns, and I think guns are they're tools that should be utilized by people that want to utilize them in an effective, also safe manner. Like there's like a lot of things that in that like statement that's a very nuanced. So do I think we should have our gun laws as we are now? No. I think our gun laws now are like insane, and we are like, it worked when it was the Wild West and everyone whatever, it didn't matter then. We should change them now. I think we should go to a licensing system, much like the cars, because much like a car, a gun can kill some money, and much like a car, it's dangerous, and you should prove that you can use it effectively. So I think we should have a more stringent law, but that does not mean I think we should take away guns. Like there's a nuanced middle ground, and like I said, I think if people think about their tenets and they find that nuance, that like all you got to find is that little bit of nuance, and then you can get together with somebody else, someone from the complete opposite side of you that's going, well, I think we should get rid of all the guns. Be like, well, I disagree, but like, what if we did this small thing? Like, what if we changed it? It's not, we're not giving this up or gaining this or losing that or whatever it is. We're just changing it. Like, it's not, yeah, think through the process. That's all I really got. And I hope if you want to talk about any of those other, I think gun rights ones is like the best for that. I guess you could also use Republican, Democrat, because there's middle ground. There's already middle ground. The bipartisan consensus on foreign affairs, which is, how Americans get boned. If you didn't realize that, you realize that both of those parties already they get a deal. They shook hands already. Like, they work together. So you shouldn't critically think about those propaganda pieces that you're ingesting in your life. Yeah. With that, again, hope you're having a great Valentine's Day. Hugs and kisses from me. If you don't, like if you need a Valentine, I'll always be your Valentine. All right. Love you guys. Have a good whatever.